Hey everyone, kia ora te whanau. So this is episode 2 of tips and tricks for those people who are going to the Australian Grand Prix for the first time. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about what to take with you when you're going to the Australian Grand Prix. We are now less than 6 weeks away until the Grand Prix, and here's some things that have actually been quite helpful for me as someone who's actually done the Melbourne Grand Prix a couple of times before. Hi, my name's Lauren. I have actually been to 3 Grand Prix so far. 2 in Australia, 1 in Singapore, and I will be at the Melbourne Grand Prix this year as well as Singapore later this year as well. So let's just get into it. My first tip to actually bring is your phone or a camera. Look, I get it. You do want to actually capture every moment that you actually have of the experience that you will have at the Australian Grand Prix, because going to a Formula 1 race is an experience. And you want to be able to capture that. So make sure you bring your phone or your camera with you. And make sure you actually bring portable chargers with you as well. I usually go with ones that you can actually do solo charging on, or ones that you can actually charge your phone multiple times. One portable charger, but do what works best for you. But I highly suggest making sure that you do actually have chargers with you, so then you'll be able to charge your batteries wherever. Word to the wise, there is a thing called network congestion that actually happens in crowded areas such as going to the track. So if you are planning on actually bringing your phone and calling up someone, it might not happen. Make sure if you are going to the track and you are meeting people there, do all the organisation beforehand so they know which time and where to meet you. But also, it is very likely that you won't be able to get phone calls through, check your social medias, do any streaming to social media, or be able to watch any replays on, say, KO, for example. Because with high traffic, such as being in a crowded area, you might not be able to check your phone. Right, my next tip is actually about bringing your own wallet with you. That's a pretty obvious one though. So if you do actually want to buy merch or snacks or anything like that, make sure that you've actually got your wallet with you. Pretty obvious choice with that one, but just be aware that food and merch is actually very expensive. So if you are on a budget, just be aware that it will be very expensive at the track. My next tip is about actually staying hydrated. Make sure you actually bring your own water bottle with you, guys. Make sure to pack that one. You can bring metal water bottles in, and there's plenty of hydration stations around the track as well where you'll be able to fill up. My next tip is about preparing for all weathers. Melbourne does love to actually have 4 seasons in one day, so make sure that you just bring some sun protection, rain protection, and maybe a jumper as well, just in case. I swear there is nothing worse than actually being sunburnt on a freezing cold day. Right, my next tip is about bringing earplugs. Now this one can be debatable. However, if you are very sensitive to noise, be aware that F2 and F3 are very loud and F2 actually backfires. So if you are very sensitive to noise, it might be advisable to bring earplugs with you. F1 is nowhere near as loud as what it used to be. Now the turbo hybrid era has actually come in and you can actually hold a conversation during the race as well. My next tip is about bringing your own food in. As I mentioned before, food at the track is extremely expensive, and also there are limited dietary requirements. So if you have a special dietary requirement or you are on a budget, it would be highly advisable to meal prep before coming to the race. And also, there are many supermarkets around the CBD area where you'll be able to pick up some quick snacks to take with you to the track. Right, my next tip is if you have scored a grandstand seat, lucky for you. But I would highly suggest bringing a towel and also a seat cushion with you just to make yourself a little bit more comfortable. The towel is if in the case that it rains overnight, you'll be able to wipe your seat in the morning and you'll be able to stay dry and not have a fucking wet ass. My next tip is if you have got a park pass, you can bring camp chairs in and you can bring picnic blankets in. So if that's something that you would like to do, bring your own chairs in, bring your own picnic blankets in, and yeah. Finally, my next tip is bring a great attitude with you and your unwavering support. There is nothing worse than going to a Grand Prix when there are people who are fucking aggro. And we would just love to see passionate support for Formula 1, but also motorsport in Australia as well. So there are just some of my tips on what to actually bring with you to the track. And this is going to set yourself up for an epic weekend in Melbourne for the Australian Grand Prix. Peace out, guys.